You're listening to the One Man Show Network.
Welcome to the MMA Fight Picks Podcast with your host, Aaron Weinbaum.
Hey kids, and welcome to the MMA Fight Picks Podcast. I am your host, Aaron Weinbaum, and first off, I want to apologize for last week's audio errors when I had Nick from MMA Oddsbreaker on. It was unfortunate. I had two methods of recording, and they both failed me, and I'm not going to get into it. So my backup to my backup to my backup failed. And wow, what a week we had in MMA. Before I make the picks, let's cover that. You know, I was right about Conor Khabib. I thought Khabib would grind him down, wear him out, and what's not. Trying to think here. The melee after, I can't really blame Khabib, and you can have a double standard. Conor threw a dolly through a bus and injured people. Khabib jumped over a cage where there should have been security to prevent that. Got in the crowd and, injured other fighters. So, I don't know. It's hard for me to get mad at that. Sorry, I got a text message while I was doing it. Of course, it always happens. I don't record, and then I do record, and my phone blows up. So, sorry about that. So, yeah. A few more exciting things. Kevin Lee signed on to fight Al Iaquinta on the last UFC on Fox card. Super excited about that. And then what about the star of the show for UFC 229? That would be Derek Lewis. Because, by God, my balls got hot. If you don't know what I'm talking about, look it up. Look up Derek Lewis and his Instagram. He is now fighting Daniel Cormier November 3rd, Madison Square Garden, UFC 230. And best promo ever. I don't think I can play it on here, so I won't. So, anyway, without further ado, we are going to pick for Bellator 208, Fedor versus Sonnen. Some good fights on this card. I'm glad it's not on DAZN this week. I didn't get DAZN. I'm not going to get DAZN. It's going to be on the Paramount Network. I'm looking forward to that. I'm definitely going to watch these fights this weekend. Can't guarantee it'll be in real time. My daughter's coming down to visit, so I'll probably stay off the internet. But regardless, my picks were pretty good last week, but I'm gonna go with the usual don't bet on my picks, please. Unless I have another caliber guest like Nick again. So let's get into it. First of all, Henry Corrales versus Andy Main. I actually saw Henry Corrales fight live in St. Louis a few years back, and I thought at the time they were just kind of feeding him to Daniel Strauss to make him look good. Another side story, after the fight, they both came in the crowd, sat with each other. Daniel Strauss was stealing some kids' chili fries. It was quite funny, but so he lost 3 in a row. But this was back in 2015, so he loses to Strauss, Emmanuel Sanchez, Patricio Fiore, all caliber guys. Then he comes back, beats Cody Ballinger, Noad Lehat, I don't know who that is really, and Georgi Karakhanyan, who's no joke. Then you got Andy Main. I don't know much about him, except he's fighting Henry Corrales this weekend. So he beat Nam Phan, who you all know famously from The Ultimate Fighter. Chang Hong Kim, I've never heard of, from Road FC. And then in LFA, he beat Salamita. So first Bellator fight, I felt compelled to pick this because I've seen Henry fight before. I like a good comeback story. I think this fight may put him in the contendership. Yeah. I think so. So I'm thinking, and forgive me, I'm having trouble remembering what weight they are all of a sudden. Good God. Lord. Oh, it was 145 pounds. My God. I pick Henry Corrales to win this fight. Next up, 2 UFC vets. You got Czech Combo, Timothy Johnson. Timothy Johnson looks like the guy from Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, the guy with the mustache. So if you don't know who that is, Google Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, and you will see what Timothy Johnson looks like against UFC vet, both UFC vets, Czech Kondo. Let's look at Timothy first. He just recently won UFC Fight Night against Marcel Golm, and, sometimes on a win, you still get cut. So bummer on that. Before that he lost to Junior Albini. You got Czech Congo. He's beat a few guys I've not heard of. But he does own a win over Alexander Volkov, who fought last weekend against Derek Lewis. So, I like both guys. I really like Timothy Johnson, but I think Congo takes this just based on experience. So, yeah, that's my pick. Alexander Shlemenko versus Anatoly Tokov. Okay, so you get a little weary when a guy doesn't have a Wikipedia page, and Anatoly does not. Shlemenko actually gave Gegard a tough fight, and I thought he looked good. I'm not sure what happened with Gegard in the eye. Of course, this is for 185 pounds. But he has lost twice now. He lost to Musasi. He lost to Bruno Silva, KO, back and it was in M1. So, and he lost in Russia. So, then you got Anatoly Tokov, who wins over Vladimir Filopik. I believe that is a relation to Miracle Krokop. And before that, he beats Francisco France. I think that's a made-up name, but it's not. I don't like to predict a guy's downfall, but I am going to go with the upset here and Anatoly Tokov. Next up, Benson Henderson against Sawad Awad. Let's go Sawad first. 4 wins in a row. That's pretty good. That's pretty impressive. 4 wins in a row. Ryan Quinn, Zach Freeman, J.J. Ambrose, Ryan Couture. Then you got Benson Henderson, whose last fight, this is what I don't like. His last fight, first win in Bellator, Roger Huerta. Roger Huerta, past his prime. The guy shouldn't be in there. And all respect to Roger Huerta. I was a big fan of his for a long, long time, but doesn't need to be fighting anymore. And, before that, Henderson had some tough losses to Patricky Fiore and Michael Chandler. He had that freaky win against Patricio when he came there, but this was back 2016. And I like the guy in the win streak in this one. I love Benson Henderson, but I feel like this is an upset in itself. But Sawad Awad, I'm picking him. Now, the main event of the evening: Fedor Emelianenko versus Chael the Bad Guy Sonnen, the gangster from West Lynn. Well, this fight's not in Russia. This automatically gives Chael an advantage. This is tough. Let's go with Fedor first. So Fedor, his last fight was Frank Mir. He beat Frank Mir. I picked Frank Mir to win that fight, but I don't know what it is. Maybe Frank Mir's best days are behind him. Anyone gets hit by Fedor, they got a chance of going out. Before, it was some weird little almost double knockout loss to Matt Mitrione. Before that, weird decision against Fabio Emelianenko. And this was, of course, I believe in Russia. It was in Russia. And then a couple of wins. There's some past their prime fighters. So, now last fight, Chael beat Rampage Jackson. Both these guys have fought light heavyweight. Chael's even fought at middleweight. I picked Chael to lose, but I made that contingent on what he weighed in on that day. I said if he weighed in heavier than usual, then he's got a shot at Quinton. And I wish I would have kind of amended that, but, who sees the future? So, Chael came in weighing 222 pounds. As of now, this is Thursday. Weigh-ins don't take place until tomorrow, which would be Friday the 12th. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention where this fight takes place, too. It does take place in the Nassau Coliseum in Uniondale, New York. So, sorry if I forgot to mention that. Chael and Fedor, they go against the winner. The winner of that goes against the winner of Mitrione Bader. Okay? I like Chael's chances better with Bader than I do with Mitrione. Now, here's the thing. Chael's coming off 2 wins in a row. I didn't think he was going to beat Quinton, but I suspected he had a better chance if he had the weight against him. And he clearly has been putting some effort and putting on some meaningful weight, which means he's not just getting fat to be a heavyweight. It looks like he put on a little size. He looked good. He could move well. He was still quick. He was strong. And Quentin Jansen maybe past his prime, but he was in his 250s, 254, I think he weighed in at. So then you got Fedor. He's beat some tough guys in the past, but he's past his prime. But he can get you. He's got the Sambo background. He can hit you. Now, Chael, I think, he's got the double leg. Can Fedor stop the double leg? But here's the thing. All fights start out on their feet. And Chael, he's going to have to set up his takedowns, which means, unless he just goes charging in, which I don't think he would do, he's got to feint. He's got to do some movement, maybe throw a few kicks, and then get him down on the ground and hope that's enough to subdue him. And I'm not really sure how this goes in the clinch with Fedor and his dirty boxing. So, interesting matchup. I'm picking the bad guy. Chael, because two things. He's, I think he's got his mojo back. He took some time off, and he has liked several of my posts on Twitter. So, there you have it. Chael wins, goes on to the finals of the Bellator heavyweight tournament in against either Matt Mitrione or Ryan Bader. And that's it. Thank you so much to all that have listened. Oh, lots and lots of hearts. And as always, feel free to say hi next time you hop on a Periscope. I should have mentioned that. My bad. I hate to rush off. I am picking up my son from football practice. So until next time, this is Aaron Weinbaum saying shalom.
Please remember to support the podcast by visiting the affiliate links on AaronSaysWhat.com.
Are you looking for a permanent home for your podcast? Well, Spreaker can do it all. Spreaker will give you your own RSS feed that you can submit to other platforms, including iTunes. Spreaker's mobile app will let you record from your smartphone, or you can use their web-based console with everything you need to record. Their podcasting plans include being able to host multiple shows at no extra charge. Got a YouTube channel? Spreaker's got you covered. You can effortlessly upload your podcast audio to your channel. You can even move your current podcast to Spreaker without losing any of your iTunes subscribers. Try any plan 30 days for free using promo code ASW.